Hey everyone, if this is the first time that we're meeting, my name is Patrick Oancia and I'm the founder and co-developer of the Baseworks method. The Baseworks method at its core is a movement conditioning approach, yet I personally found over the years of committing to practice and teaching that practice inevitably has an effect on perception and quality of life. These Baseworks Transmission conversations look at both concrete and abstract realizations that come up as the result of committing to any kind of practice and/or pursuit to achieve life goals. And the aim is to come up with a common vocabulary to better describe these experiences. I've been listening to podcasts and subscribing to channels on YouTube for over 10 years for the primary purpose of getting information on topics that I'm very interested in. During this time, I was turned on to a bunch of interesting and unanticipated stuff that surfaced through the many conversation topics across dozens of productions. I really respect how so many interesting people who have separate careers and commitments take the time to produce this stuff and to share their ideas and equally participate in the sharing of other information which may have never made its way into mainstream media. As I followed Matan's podcast, it was the first time that I actually knew the host personally as a collaborator and friend. Much of the content on Material for the Brain leans towards the articulation of stuff that relates to the way people perceive what they do through the lens of their skill set and creative work, and the corresponding effect that that process has on life. I also really resonated with Matan's decision to take a break from the production of his podcast to refocus on his in-person teaching after months of COVID lockdowns and distancing protocols. Although this is the start of my own attempt to share via these Baseworks Transmission productions, I've had a lot of past experience producing events, educational content, and other stuff I felt directly related to the broader, more abstract aspects of my life work. And I've also taken many breaks in between for the purpose of digesting what I experienced and reorienting my focus onto other projects for perspective. Any events that evolve around ethics, learning, and sharing can be interpreted in different ways depending entirely on personality and circumstance. It's worth considering that even the most adverse of situations that come up at any stage in our lives can offer new perspectives that might not be so immediately obvious at the time. The intricacies and polarities between people's characters in any kind of collaboration can be challenging to navigate. In the situation that Matan shared about not feeling supported in a production he was casted for, the attitude of the choreographer directly affected the output of the experience for Matan. The choreographer may have missed on some of his own learning from not being sensitive to how Matan could have felt better supported. Of course, no one's obligated to alter their personality or work format just because they don't agree with somebody. Yet opening oneself up, listening to, and considering the feelings of others can be invaluable in understanding subjective motivations. I personally find this to be really important, and I feel like the more informed I am, the more effective I can be in my professional projects, and the more empathy I can build towards the needs of others. And for me, this realization came through both self-reflection, feedback, and direct confrontation. Conversely to this, not always having the support that one would be expecting under specific circumstances also provides the possibility to stimulate learning in a way that we can deeper analyze individual projections, our needs, and expectations. Letting go of preconceptions, even if only occasionally, may present a completely different outlook on personal progress and development, and possibly even nurture our emotional resilience. A lot of this goes hand in hand with the topic of commitment, boundaries, and responsibility, as we spoke a fair bit about during this transmission. When we're committed to someone or something, it's not always going to be smooth. Yet to persevere with healthy and conscious boundaries can become an important contribution to one's attitudes towards coexistence, solidarity, reciprocity, community, and mutual respect. Inevitably, how we approach a physical practice can be a great metaphor for how we can shape the way that we respond to the different things that come up in life. An example question one may want to ask at any time would be, is the practice intensity or quality appropriate for both my physical and emotional state? Physical practice can be approached with different objectives, but the attitude will inevitably affect the outcome. A physical practice can be for the purpose of conditioning the body to perform at a certain level. It can also facilitate mitigating stress, supporting good health, and improving mental clarity. But it's also true that many use a physical practice to avoid confrontation or even confronting oneself, and in some situations, the approach to the practice can sometimes fall into the same category as addiction. I believe that how we approach our practice illuminates who we are, and I want to emphasize that it's not about the result of any such realization being good or bad, it's just about being informed. In Baseworks, we have a particular focus on using the understanding of limitations, expectations, and attitude as intel to make the practice meaningful and sustainable under any circumstance. A lot of what we talked about in this transmission correlates with this type of analysis. If this is the first time you hear about Matan, his work, or his podcast, Material for the Brain, I urge you to subscribe to his channel, binge listen to his first season, and stay tuned for what I'm sure is going to be a lot of interesting content moving forward. Check out movementlab.eu/podcast. Once again, that's movementlab, all one word, .eu/podcast. You can also check out his website, matanlevkowich.com, and you can find these links in the show notes. And please email us a brief voice memo letting us know what inspired you or pushed your buttons to ideas@baseworks.com. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and again, please consider liking and sharing the episode with others if it resonated with you. You can also subscribe and set up notifications anywhere you listen to or watch this to get real-time updates about all future uploads. To benefit from exclusive content delivered right into your inbox, consider signing up for our newsletter from the footer on any page of our website. To know more about Baseworks specifically and everything we're doing, visit our website at baseworks.com.